This is Julian. You went undefeated in today's Yu-Gi-Oh tournament at DAC. And what deck were you playing?
Constellars.
Okay.
Yep. So the reason why I chose to run this deck is I felt that it generally had like a good matchup against dragons, and I expected to see a lot of dragons today. Like, I didn't really know who was going to show up, but I knew some people were going to play dragons. And basically this deck has a really good matchup against that. So that was really the only matchup that I really wanted to beat consistently. So I'll just show you the deck. So I played 3 Sheridan. It's level 3, and it just lets me search out like any piece that I want at any given time. So whatever card it is that I really need, it just helps me do that. And it's the only card in the deck that helps me search Sombre, which is basically Kirkion. Next I played 3 Polux, which is basically Caster. It lets me get my normal summon, extra normal summon for the turn. I played Kaus. This is like our wind-up shark, but we can do it twice per turn. And it basically lets me go into like rank 4s, rank 3s, or rank 5s if I want. And we all know like rank 5s are pretty like some of the best Exceed monsters that exist. So, and he's also a beast warrior, so he gets like a boost from like tanky and stuff. I'll show you that later. So this is Algaedi. This allows me to special summon, and in my opinion, like this is like the worst card because the deck by itself is really like, you know, good against like hand traps. It doesn't like fall or fail to like those like effect veilers and maxis and stuff like that. But this to me is like the only card that's like weak to that. So I tried to make the deck, less weak to those cards. But I felt the reason I ran 3 of these is because I wanted to have like a more consistent first turn play. So like I always wanted to like make an Exceed monster on my first turn. Sometimes like you don't get Polux and like Kaus. So basically it's like running 6 Polux, barring the fact that they might have Veiler or something like that. And then I have 3 Sombre. Sombre allows me to banish 1 from the grave to add 1 to my hand. So after I use up like my materials from one of my Exceed monsters, I can just banish 1, add it. It's basically a 1-card Exceed. So it allows me to go into like 4 or 5 if I want. I played 1 Thunder King. Just general search, good 1900. Thunder King is one of the best cards that's ever existed as a first turn play, or any time when you're trying to support your cards that you already have on the field. And I played Honest because it's a dark deck.
I saw that Dark Arm Dragon there too.
Yeah. Let me go on to the spells. I played 2 Forbidden Lance. It's for basically general protection, and also like people who think they can fight over Pleiades or something like that. It boosts them down. So he's pretty strong, backed up by something, and he bounces things. So just having that protection, and it also lets me push my plays through. Like the deck kind of reminds me of like Dino Rabbit that I played a lot too, and that's like my favorite deck of all time. So playing Lance was just such a vital part of that. And it just helps you push your plays through. You don't have to worry about anything happening. Basically negate stuff in a sense. I played 3 MSTs. This is staple to me. Playing 3, it just helps you push through and get your plays through. And it's good against Dragon Ravine and Necro Valley and stuff. Things that I was expecting to see today. Tenki allows me to search for Kaus because he's a beast warrior. Gives them 100 boosts. So. Omega's 25 and Kaus becomes a 1900 beater, and I can also use Pleiades effect to bounce this back after I summon him, so I'll have a play for my next turn, or if he gets destroyed on your side, I'll just return this back to my hand, so I just have my play ready for next turn or whatever. Rhoda to search Polux, Warrior, Dark Hole, and Book of Moon, which is pretty standard stuff. And for the traps, I played Solemn Warning, Bottomless, Compulse, Torrential, and 1 Vanity's Emptiness. Vanities is really good also, back behind Pleiades. It's really a terror for dragons. I'll summon Pleiades. If I have a Lance and a Vanities, it's going to be very difficult for them to make a play on their first turn or whatever. And, if I want to go off on my next turn, if you have no answer to that, I can just bounce this back to my hand. Or if you try and MST one of my other set cards to try and destroy the Vanities, I'll just bounce the set card so this stays on the field. So you basically essentially when negative you you lost your MST and you're still not going to be able to do anything for that turn. Phoenix Chain, just general effect stopper. I didn't want to play hand traps like you know, Veiler and Maxi and stuff like that. I just left that for like the side because I just didn't know, you know. And then Imperial. Imperial.
Main deck?
Yeah, it doesn't really hurt me. Also, it kind of goes the same. It really hurts dragons too. And, you know, they can't make their plays, and I can just bounce it back whenever I want to use Sombre or whatever like that. It's just another problem for them to get over. And it's kind of similar to this because it stops their special summoning. So, I mean, if I were to play like another Vanities, it's like almost playing like 4 Vanities in a sense. 2 Mirror Force to protect my Omegas and whatever I make and my Pleiades and stuff like that. And I made 2 Dust Tornadoes for Necro Valley and Dragon Ravine and Skill Drain, like things that, you know, dragons play and stuff like that. Or if they like set a return, I can just space. I could just dust a return, like, you know, on their turn, and pretty much. So that's like one like less game-ending play that I have to worry about. Let me just go on to the side deck now. For side deck, I chose to run Maxi, just good against special summoning. I didn't really side that in because I just didn't feel the need to. It's just there for like decks that just go off first turn, but I didn't play any of those today. Cyber Dragon, again, it's like I would generally like side out like Sheridan because it's like whatever, and then I'll just put in like these 2, and then if they'll like set up, or like they make like a Draco Sack or something, I can special it, and then just Contact Fusion for like Chimera Tech or something like that. So like my deck was really built to like get over like Draco Sack and like all the silly plays that dragons make, stuff like that. Effect Veiler, just general effect negation. I played Dimensional Fissure for like Dark Worlds and, you know, anything that resolves around the graveyard too much. Same for Macrocosmos. I don't really care about these cards. I can just bounce them if I have to, and I don't really care what happens to my grave, so. Unless for like Sombre, but whatever. Soul Drain, again, just for dragons and for, you know, any other things that I would see. I decided the 3rd Imperial. Didn't want to lose to that deck. I came here to beat that deck, and that's what I wanted to do. Dust Tornado, just general back row removal. I just want to get my plays through, stuff like that. 2 goals in match. It's really good. All my guys are lights, so it doesn't really affect me. And I just played defense, just in case I played against like decks that spam monsters and just have big monsters. If I don't have like the right combinations or the right pieces, like this will like slow the game down to my pace, so I can just like get rid of big monsters that I can't get over with my monsters, and then it'll just, you know, basically get my plays going, stuff like that. And that's it for the side. And let me just get into the extra. 1M7, it's a really good card. Whenever I basically use up my materials for Pleiades, it depends on like the timing. Like I'll just overlay into him. He becomes 2700. Next turn I can detach, add something from like, you know, either player's grave back to the hand or anything on the field. So he basically becomes like a stronger Pleiades, like in a sense. Yeah, that's why he's really good. Pleiades to me is like the best monster in the deck. It's just nothing really stops like, you know, stuff like this, unless you like Veiler or like you dark hole him or Mac or you know, dark hole, basically just get him off the field somehow, or Blaster or something like that. But other than that, like he just, like when he's backed and when you're just playing like Protected Pleiades, it's very hard to like get over him because he's just bouncing stuff and nothing really stops bounce. You can't really deal with stuff like that, and it sets you back because you went off and then just to get it bounced, you know. And then, you know, like if I summon him and you didn't do anything on your turn, I can just like use his effect on the end phase, and then on my draw phase I'll just use it. Like say you set like 2 back row or something, I'll just bounce 1, and then on my draw phase I'll just chain his effect to use up the materials, and then I'll have like a safe play. I can OTK like if you don't have any back row just by using, just because you didn't get rid of him on your turn, basically. If I have the right combo pieces, which my deck is built to do. I played 1 Omega. I didn't feel like I needed 2, but he's really good. if you don't have protection to protect your Pleiades, I usually go into this guy first because he's protected against like spells and traps like that. So I feel really safe. In a sense, he reminds me of like Logia. You just summon him and set a bunch of back row, and you're basically safe. You're good to go. Preyesp, one of the unsung heroes in a sense. Like no one really plays this card, but he's a Constellar monster and he's really good. He's basically there honest. You can whenever it's attacked, any Constellar monster attacks or it's getting attacked, you can just detach. They'll gain 1,000 attack and a damage step. So it's very difficult to like get over like a Pleiades backed by like Lance and this guy. Like you're not punching them in the face. Or like if you have these two like together, it's very difficult to get over something like this because you can't fight them one-on-one. So you got to use basically effects to get over them. I have Gaia. I can do like I usually go into like Volcasaurus. It's like a game winner basically. Like you just blow up and then you just swing for game with Gaia or something like that, which is like a general combo that like a lot of decks that make 5 do. It's just like a win condition kind of thing. But it's also good like many times like I can bounce like back row with like Pleiades, I'll just like overlay and go for game or something. This card really put in a lot of work for me today. Tyrus is like one of the best cards in the extra deck. Like unaffected by destruction basically from card effects. Swing, he'll destroy a card also. It's really good. It's just put in a lot of work against like the Gravekeeper matchup. Like I was constantly popping like back row and Necro Valleys and stuff like that. I just popped accordingly to what I needed to do on my next turn. Like if Necro Valley was a problem for me, like if I had Sombre and I wanted to make my game-winning play, I'll just get rid of the Necro. But if I know that he wasn't going to be able to deal with this, or our player wasn't going to be able to deal with this, I'll just pop like monsters or back row. I played Adris. So I don't really like this card. I used to play this when I used to play Eradicator. Basically, like you'll just go, like no one is playing spellbooks here, so like I didn't have to play Eradicator or like Deck Devi and stuff like that. So basically, you just made this because your deck is made to make rank 5. So you'll just make this set Eradicator and just whatever. But he has his other uses, like he can pop like Decree and stuff like that. Like or like certain spells that are like, or traps, continuous traps and stuff like that that are messing with me or something like that. So that's why he's good. It's pretty good. I played Utopia. I don't make this card. I didn't make this neither, but they're just there for like stall. Like people that are trying to stall, you just get them out. You got to play this guy. It's generic rank 4 is pretty good. Abyss Dweller. Zen mains for like XYZ Encore. Or like if I have like 2 Sheratons and I just want to chill, like I'll just overlay into this. And then my last card was obviously Chimera Tech. Yep, and that's pretty much the deck.
You feel like you had anything in there that you didn't really need?
Well, I was using someone's Cowboy. Like I didn't play Abyss Dweller. I don't know. I think my deck was just solid. Like I didn't really need this card like that much. So I had a Gaga Cowboy. Other than that, like the only thing in my extra deck that I didn't need was probably like Utopia. Yeah, like Utopia, I didn't really care about. I didn't really make that. I would probably like take this card out and play like a second Omega. Sometimes I felt like I needed like another one of this guy to like protect my future plays, or like I'll just make him and then go off next turn, or like a lot. The thing that was happening a lot today was like like they were having to waste a lot of cards to just get rid of him alone, like like Mirror Force, Deep Prison combo, or like Book of Moon, Mirror Force combo, stuff like that. So he served his purpose in a sense, but I wish I had like another one of him for like later game situations, like if the game got dragged out. And for like the main deck, everything. This is just the way I wanted it to be. Like there's nothing I would change about the main deck for this tournament. Like
There was only one dragon deck running around, so did you end up dead drawing those Imperial Iron Walls a lot?
I didn't even draw them. Like honestly, all day I didn't even draw them, and then like I decided them out immediately. Like if it wasn't dragons, I just took it out immediately. Yeah, so I didn't have like a problem with the Imperial Iron Wall at all.
Alright.
Yeah, But the only reason I main them is because, dragons and stuff like that. General, like maybe removal. Someone was gonna play like a random removal deck or some weird stuff. You never know what goes on around here in Duel Society. So
What was your favorite matchup of the day?
my favorite match, my hardest matchup was against Reggie's burn like weird grinder golem thing. Like that thing just gave me it just gave me a headache, man. It was really tough. Like
Hey, at least you didn't have to deal with the Infernal Tempest, right?
I didn't. I guess I got lucky there, but that match made me angry because I felt like I was actually gonna lose, and I didn't want to come here to lose. Like just insta lose like that. I don't know. Like I won by 100 life points. So
Oh, in time, I remember
yeah.
that.
So it was really weird. I really don't know. Like that deck was very difficult.
Well, I mean, you won. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right.